Hey guys, it's Jessica from Peace Love Books, and today I'm here with my mid-month wrap-up. I have read 11 books in the first 15 days of the month. I am very happy with how my reading went. It's been a very busy couple of weeks. I did get to see the Jonas Brothers twice. First in Columbus, and then I went to Cleveland for their show. No special guest for either show, which made me very sad, but I have one more chance because they added dates with Jesse McCartney. And if you know me, Jesse McCartney is my one true love. I missed his concert in Columbus this year because I was out of town, and now he's opening for my other favorite band. So obviously we have to go, but that is later this month. But I've been running around a lot, and then I have a really busy upcoming week as well because Wicked is coming out, and then I get to see the Jonas Brothers again. So November has just been great. I've been loving it, but I did manage to read 11 books. I did read, I think, 5 in one weekend. A lot of my reading gets done on the weekends because I just get so busy during the week, but we will go ahead and get to it. I do have one reading vlog out already for this, plus one book is in another reading vlog, even though the other 2 books are from October, and then I'm starting another reading vlog that'll be up soon. So all the reading vlogs that I've done so far for the books I read in this video, I'll link down below. Since I do have like a full-on Christmas reading vlog for the first 5 books, I'm just going to go through them rather quickly, not spend too much time on them. But the first one I read was Say It Isn't Snow by Veronica Eden. I really love this one. I give it 4.5 stars. I don't know how to rate novellas because I need a full fleshed out story, but the nature of a novella is it doesn't have space to be a full fleshed out story, so a lot of these have rushed endings, which is not my favorite. But I'm like, do I factor that into my rating? It is a novella, so I don't rate a lot of novellas 5 stars, but I did rate a few of these 4.5 stars, so I really like them. But this is one of them. It is a snowed-in brother's best friend romance where they had an almost thing when they were like 19, and now it's been years. They're both in their mid to late 20s. He did leave to chase his NHL dreams, and now he is a professional hockey player, and he just got let go from his team unfairly. And she is a baker, she is overworked, and her best friend and her were supposed to go to her best friend's cabin. Her best friend bails and her brother goes instead, so she is stuck and snowed in at this cabin with the brother, and they have to address the things that they had done in the past and what went wrong and fall in love again. I loved this one, so good, but like a majority of it is just focusing on them snowed in, and then we have like a little bit of an ending, but I thought it was really cute. Then we have Holiday Switch by Tori Jean. This one, the writing was a little clunky to begin with, so it got me a little bit, I had to take a little bit of time to get used to it, but I did give this one 3.5 stars, and more so rounding up because I did like this. However, this was definitely missing some integral plot points that would have made it such a stronger book. So this one, our heroine is in love with her best friend, and she's been in love with him for the past like 3 years. She's always goes to his apartment where he lives with his twin brother, and she hates the twin brother, and she ends up needing to fake date the twin brother because she's told her parents she is dating her best friend, and he was supposed to come home for Christmas with her to be her fake boyfriend to show she's gotten over her ex, who is also a hockey player. The twin brother's a hockey player, her best friend's a gymnast, and so right when it's time to go home for the holidays, her best friend breaks his leg, and so he's like, I can't come, but my brother can. So she has to now fake date the brother, and you learn some things about the best friend that aren't great, and you question, you've been best friends with him for 3 years. How did you not put this together? But there was no confrontation scene between her and the best friend or the brother and his twin brother. Like there was nothing. She's like, oh, okay, and then like goes along her way, and I'm like, this needed to be there needed to be something to be addressed here. So I didn't love that that wasn't addressed, but she does fall in love with the twin brother she hated. So she learned some things. Very Christmas near the end. I would say the first half didn't really feel like Christmas. They are in college as well, which is not always my favorite, but 3.5 stars, still a solid one. I still enjoyed my time. Then I read 'Tis a Season for a Cowboy by Ava Hunter. This one was also a 4.5 star. I really like this one. It is a second chance between a divorced couple, which is always my favorite kind of second chance, and I love a good second chance romance, and they're snowed in together in a cabin. She is supposed to take over the cabin for the winter for her birthday since she is turning 30, and she told her ex that it's her turn, and she shows up and he's there, and he's like, what are you doing here? She's like, I told you I got the cabin on my birthday. And then they get snowed in together, and their dog is there, which I would never give up a dog if I was in a breakup. There would be shared custody of that dog if the other person wanted that dog, but she had like not seen her dog in a while, and it was hers. But she did move to the city, so like maybe it was like she couldn't have the dog in the city, but she was pursuing art, and they do need to talk about why they got divorced. It does have to do with loss of a child, so know that if you read this. But I loved this. The side plots felt a little rushed because there were some things with like saving the farm that he ran and how she could help, and that was just like a little bit it fast. But again, it's a novella, so 4.5 stars. It was really cute. Sleigh Bells and Snowstorms by Claire Kingsley, I unfortunately didn't love. I gave this one 3.5 stars, and I just really could not get into these characters or the story. Maybe it's because the story was like, and I do like romantic suspense a lot, but it was about this stolen artifact, and the hero is basically this like international spy who goes around trying to find stolen goods and like who steals them. And so he lands in this small town where the heroine is, and the heroine lives with her sister and her sister's daughter, so she helps take care of her niece, and that's a big part of the storyline. And then he's just like hanging around for Christmas trying to find who stole this artifact, and that was pretty much it. It was fine. I just feel like it was like a little bit more over the top than I expected, because I've read Claire Kingsley a little bit before, and it's definitely more like small town and with like a murder mystery, not so much like who stole this priceless artifact. So I didn't love that, unfortunately. But 3.5, it wasn't like written bad or anything. I just feel like this wasn't my vibe, so that's why I gave it 3.5, but you might like it. Then I read A Scottish Christmas Hideaway. This one I thought was an arc I had, but it was actually, I think it was one I got on sale for like $1. So I wasted my time basically because I was trying to get through some of my Christmas arcs and didn't realize this was not an arc, and I gave it 3 stars. This was not anything special. I was excited because it's a Scottish one, cozy, and the heroine is an overworked lawyer, and they force her to take time off, so she goes home to the small Scottish town and is with her parents, and she runs into her brother's best friend, who she always thought was like insufferable, and he always called her Jessie because her name's Jessica. I'm not called Jessie either, so I could see why that would like grate on her nerves. The only person that calls me Jessie is my sister to my dogs. So like that's my name to my dogs, no one else. But he would just call her that to like poke her buttons, and her brother was going to show up in town with his kids because he lives in Australia, and that was really it. It was kind of boring, and it relied a lot on miscommunication. So she had said something, the hero thought it was about him, it wasn't, then he got all broody and mad and didn't talk to her for a few days, and I was like, okay, we don't need this. So I gave it 3 stars. I didn't love it, but it wasn't bad, so it was like not like a 2, but it was just fine. Then I read my Nora Roberts pick for my Patreon. We have a Nora Roberts book club. I actually just picked our 2026 picks, so I did a whole video chatting through them, and I have a graphic for them. So if you are interested, my Patreon is linked down below. We read a Nora Roberts book a month. We read Blue Smoke, and I gave this one a solid 4 stars. This one, our heroine lost her family's pizzeria, burned down. I guess it didn't lose it. They rebuilt it, but there was a fire when she was young, and that really inspired her to be a firefighter slash like fire investigator. And the suspense in here was like creepy, and I loved the creepy factor of this. Someone is going after her throughout her life with fire, and she doesn't know that it's the same person. She just thinks like different accidents are happening and doesn't connect the fact that this person is literally obsessed with her and obsessed with fire and doing things to her spanning years. And so that kind of comes to a head at the end, and then the romance is actually really fun. The hero had seen her years before, and he's like, this is my dream girl, and then she like turned the corner and he never saw her again, and then he would see her like driving down the street and then lose her again, and then it ends up being that they're neighbors. And like it was basically like a it's always been you soulmates kind of thing, not in a creepy way. He was just like, you are literally the woman I always see and can never reach, and I just can't stop thinking about you. And they end up living next to each other, and I love that. So the middle of this one's definitely pretty slow when it comes to the plot, because we talk about like her sister and her sister getting married, but really fun. I enjoy this one. A solid, I think this is like a mid 2010s, early 2000s, 2005, mid 2000s, and it felt a lot like that from Nora. So solid 4. I did enjoy this one. Then I finally finished my angsty romance reading vlog. This took me like a month and a half to film. I got romance recommendations from Reddit, trying to find the angstiest romances I could, and I finally got one, and that was Maestro by Odd and Dar, 5 stars. This author published this in 2023, and I don't think has written anything since, so I don't know if she's gonna come out with a new book, but 5 stars. This one is a epic. They met when they were 13 at a music audition for LaGuardia, which is the Fame school from the movie Fame, and she plays a cello, he plays violin. He's a musical prodigy, and his grandfather was like super successful, and so pretty serious about his playing the violin, and they both get in, they become best friends, and they don't really become more than that until they're like teenagers, like older teenagers, and then it's just like a tumultuous up and down romance between them. The vibes really reminded me of the movie Love, Rosie. I know that's based off of a book. I've never read that book, but that's one of my all-time favorite movies, and it's always like people in their lives cause them to just miss each other and not be able to be together. And it was realistic. Like, it felt so real, these reasons why they couldn't be together. And it wasn't just themselves. It wasn't just them being annoying and like being like, I can't be with you. It was things beyond them, greater things, life goals, and different points of their lives. Because at one point he got a job, I think it was like in Argentina or something, and she had a really good job in New York City. And it's like, how do we make this work? And it literally took decades for them to be together. I loved the music. I love the New York setting. New York City is one of my favorite places, and I'm dying to go back for Christmas, and this did not help at all, because I'm like, I want to hop on a plane and go right now. I have no time at all in my schedule to go to New York City in the next month and a half, but I want to, because this book made me crave that. It is so good. It is an epic. I cried so 4 times. I explained in my vlog, I wasn't able to like full on cry because I was running on the treadmill while I was reading. I was out at a concert waiting for the concert to start. So like, I was never in a place where I could fully immerse myself in those emotions and let me cry. But if I was, I would have been full on crying. But tears were shed, and it's intense. And not even just over the romance, like tears were shed over other situations as well. Like, this whole book, a masterpiece, amazing, 5 stars, please read it. And the next one I read was a pleasant surprise, because I forget who I saw reading it, and they said they loved it, and I was like, hey, I have that audio out. I've been eyeing it, but like, I haven't seen a lot of people talk about what it's about. But it's Different This Time by Joss Richards. I listened to on audio, 5 stars. I love this. Again, New York City. I'm telling you, my books are just like, go. Just hop on a plane and go for the weekend, which I'm so tempted to do. But they live in New York City. She is an actress, and it flashes back. It's second chance between past and present. It's friends to lovers. So many of my favorite tropes. And so we see them when they're young, and they both move into this brownstone together. It's like a crazy deal, and they're like, I guess we can like both live here. He is a chef and she is an actress, and she acts in Chicago, I want to say. Later it's Les Mis, but she gets a role on Broadway, and it's really successful. They're really dancing around the feelings for one another, because they're literally for years they're best friends. She gets super close to his family, and something happened. We aren't told what happens until like the very end, what tore them apart. And in the present day, she lives in LA now doing like film, and he is still in New York, and he has a restaurant now. He like owns a restaurant, and they're called to the like a lawyer's office in New York, and they're just like, you have to be here. She doesn't know he's gonna be there, but they are left the brownstone that they had lived in together by the man who owned it, because he passed away. And he said the last 2 people who fully lived there, because they've been renting it out as like an Airbnb, get to have the house. So they inherit it, and it's like $4 million. So they're like, okay, we can sell it, but they have to wait a month for all the things to process. So now she is stuck in New York for a month, and then she gets this opportunity to try out for Les Mis, and he has his restaurant. So they're kind of reconnecting, and you're flashing back and forth between what happened in the past, what's happening now, what went wrong, how can they make it work, is she gonna go back to LA? It was so good. It was so good. If you like a second chance romance, please read this one. I was obsessed, and the audio was really good. So good. Then I did listen to the audio of Love You Mean It by Laura Pavlov. This one actually is a KU Read and Listen book, so I believe it's by Montlake. So if you download the Kindle Unlimited book, it shows up in your Audible, so that's why I listened to this one. This one was a solid 4 stars for me. This one, our heroine is a wedding planner, and the hero's a single dad, and she's renovating her house and has to live basically in like a property on his backyard. They don't get along, and it's very hate to love, and he's just like really fed up and frustrated with her, but she is so close with his daughter and really good with her, and it progresses from there. I will say there was a scene in here that I don't always love, where she just literally saw him talking to another woman. Literally nothing else was happening. He was just talking to her, and she was like, oh, of course he's flirting with another girl. He's talking to her. He wants to date her. And I was like, let's rewind for a second. And she does explain like it is an insecurity of hers because no one's ever wanted her. She, I believe, had parents who were really horrible and divorced when she was literally not even born yet, or they broke up when, I don't even know if they were married. And then he grew up in the foster care system, so he never even had parents. And so that is something they did connect over to, which I really liked. And she grew super close to the daughter, which was really sweet, and that's what really a lot of the ending focused on. So if you like a single dad romance, I would definitely recommend. I did give this one 4 stars. Then I am kind of in a fantasy mood. I kind of feeling burnt out on contemporary. Even though I read 2 5-stars back to back, I was just like, I'm just not feeling it. I'm not excited for contemporary. So I picked up The Wolf King. And the beginning was fine. I feel like the writing is pretty straightforward in this one. It was just like nothing special. I was like, okay, like cool. So she's just like kind of going through things happening to her. She gets kidnapped, and it's very Scottish, so it feels like it's like a fantasy world, and they call it like the Southlands or something, but it's basically Scotland. The hero wears his plaid, and like the plaid is for the different clans, and so he has one color and then the other people have different colors, so you can tell like who's really like loyal to who. And so he ends up kidnapping her, and she is betrothed to a king, a prince, a king. Her dad is a king too. So she's betrothed to someone. He ends up kidnapping her, and they have really focus on her virginity. They're like, she has to be pure and innocent to marry this guy for alliances. And she is very, 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 very innocent when it comes to all of that. She literally doesn't even know like what sex is, how people have sex. She's never seen a naked man before, and so she is very taken aback when she sees some things and is like, oh my gosh, he's naked. And like it made her feel very, very young, and she's 20 in this, so I don't always love it when they're feeling very young, but we do get over that pretty quickly. And I will say the end is what saved this for me, because I was like, this is just an average fun romantasy, and I couldn't understand why everybody was obsessed with it, because I was like, something's got it, like there has to be something more to this than just like your run-of-the-mill she's falling for this guy who helps save her. And there is more. There is so much more, and I am so intrigued to see what's gonna happen in the next book. I gave this one 4.5 stars. The last 20% I'd give 5. Like I was like, give this all to me. I don't know. I think this has a great opportunity to be MFM or MMF, like either one's fine with me. Polyamorous, I don't think that's where the author's gonna go. I think we're gonna get a bait and switch on the hero, is my assumption, but I don't know. Like I honestly don't know. So it was good. And maybe that's because like I wasn't super drawn to this hero, and I was like, he's fine, but like I'm not obsessed with him. Like sure, he's overprotective and like all that stuff, but this other guy that pops up, I like my morally gray heroes. So we'll see. 4.5 stars for this one. I'm very intrigued to go and continue on. And then the last one, I feel like my last section of reading was so good. I listened to Bound by Ali Hazelwood. I have not seen anybody talking about this book. I think it originally came out on Spotify, and it finally came to Audible. I have heard it's on a Hoopla. I haven't looked yet. I just bought the audiobook for like $5, $6. I had no idea what this was about. It's just called Bound. I assumed it was paranormal, and I started it and I was like, oh, is this just contemporary? Oh no. It is for sure paranormal, and it is so good. So the first like 3 hours of the audio, it's a 7-hour audiobook, so about like 33-40% in is about kind of contemporary. So she's like a graduate student, and she works in like artifacts like rare books, and she is really good at telling if something's a forgery or not. And then she gets pulled into completing forgeries and forging art, but only selling them to like bad billionaires. So like you don't feel bad that they're spending their money on a fake art, and she's really, really good. And then someone figures out she's faking it and tracks her down, and that's all I can tell you. But when the paranormal reveals were there, I was like, absolutely yes. And then the romance, I was like, absolutely yes. Again, this is a novella, so it's like 7 hours, so it's like a short novel. I don't know if it's like 200 pages. I don't know what that equates to in page numbers. The ending was rushed. So the ending went by pretty quickly, and I was like, oh, I would have loved this like final showdown to be drawn out just a little bit. But again, that is a factor of the type of book it is, because I think it was supposed to be short, because Ali Hazelwood does a lot of novellas right now too, but hers are always like longer novellas. So I don't know if this could be considered a novella as a 7-hour audiobook or just a really short novel, but it just needed to be a little bit more fleshed out at the end. But I loved it so much, so I still gave it 5 stars. It was so good. Highly recommend you pick this up and listen. It was amazing. And those are the 11 books that I read in the first half of the month. It was a really, really good reading month, and we're about to come upon a very busy season of all the holidays. I am attempting to do Bookmas, Vlogmas. I'm gonna do 25 videos in 25 days. So I gotta start planning that. So I am filming a little bit ahead. I do not usually film ahead because I'm always very impatient that once I have a video done, I'm like, I need to post it. I need to post this. I need people to watch it, but I'm trying to be better. So I have another video to film after this that you won't see for a while, but I'm excited for all the things, and hopefully I still keep up on my reading. I'm gonna be in my fantasy era for the rest of the month, so stay tuned for some fantasy romance stuff, plus Omegaverse. I am dying to read more Omegaverse, so I'm reading one right now I think you guys will be very excited for, but that is all I have. If you've made it this far, leave me a fire emoji for blue smoke, since that was all about fire. Leave me fire in the comments down below, and that's all I have. As always, thank you so much for watching, and have a good day. Bye.